Hello, friends. Welcome back. I have a question for you. Where do you make your decisions from? Is it logic or intuition? The difference is so incredibly powerful, and the results can be exponential. So, I want to share with you a story. A couple of weeks ago, my partner and I we had an investment opportunity, and we went to some events and stuff, and we sat down at the weekend and we had a meeting about this and we made a pros and cons list, right? Now on the pros side, there was loads of things. Like logically, we could see that there were loads of pros to this investment. On this side, there were only a couple of things on the con side. And interestingly, they were like vibes. They were just emotions. They were the feeling that we had. So it wasn't really making sense to us initially because we were like, well, logically, it makes sense. Like this is a sound investment. But something is just feeling off. And so what I always say to my clients and a principle that I live by is if in doubt, leave it out, right? Don't make a decision if you're not sure. Wait until you're 100% sure. Either way, make sure that you're 100% sure in moving forward. So we waited on this a little bit, let it marinate. And what became evident to us is that it wasn't just a pros and cons list. What this was, if I erase this, it was actually, it was logic and it was intuition. Everything on the pro side was logic. Yeah, made sense, sound investment. But our intuition, our spirit was off about it. So then what did we do? What do you think we done? We absolutely went with intuition because we understand that if the reasons, even if there's one reason on the intuition side, even if there was just one, we understand that's spiritual. The cons were all spiritual. There was no like thing that we could put our finger on where it like logically we would have said no to the investment. It was all spiritual. So we decided that's definitely a no because our intuition is speaking to both of us. It's not just speaking to one of us. Both of us feel off and we didn't know why. The truth is, a lot of the times with intuition, you don't know why in the beginning. Like you really don't know. You just trust in that intuition. You're 100% like, okay, I'm just going to follow my gut, right? And we've had a video recently about Simon Cowell talking about the success of his career being that he just followed his gut. So we made the decision. And then shortly after, it was revealed exactly why our intuition was like, mm-mm. We saw the way these people conducted themselves. And we spoke to somebody a couple of days after that as well who had made the investment, who was having, shall we just say, buyer's remorse. And this person's experience so far wasn't a positive one. And it's like, thank God we just went with intuition. So really, really interesting. It's always after the fact that you find out why. Whether after the fact is a couple of days in our instance, sometimes, it's not till like 6 months later, 1 year later, years later that you're like, oh man, that was my intuition in that situation, that scenario. That long ago, that's what was happening there. My gut told me. I didn't understand it logically. You're not meant to. The truth is, our logic is limited perspective. Our logic is limited awareness that we have from the knowledge that we are, aware of from past experiences. And so logic always plays a part, of course, right? I help people create strategies to move forward in their life, in their health, in their business, in their career, in their relationships. Strategy is a huge part of that. But that's the second step, right? We don't lead with the strategy. We lead with the vision and intuition of that person, like what feels right and in alignment for them. Another example, last week, my intuition told me to cancel my group coaching. It was really clear. Like it was in my body. I could feel it in my spirit. I could hear the words like cancel your group coaching. Logically, it made no sense. Why? I'm not ill. I don't have a trip. Like, I'm feeling good. I love my group coaching sessions. Like, didn't make any sense. But this stayed with me for a couple of days, and I know better, right? I know that the spiritual just trumps the logic every single time. Intuition is always higher. So I made the decision. I cancelled the group coaching. And what happened shortly after, literally a couple of hours after I sent out the emails to the group members, um, our internet was cut. It was cut due to the tornadoes last week here in Texas. And we had no internet for like 2 days. And I was like, man, how did I know before I know? Like, how did I know without knowing? It's because I listened to my intuition, even though logic was like makes zero sense. Why would you cancel the group coaching for no reason? You don't even have a reason. And I didn't give a reason. I was just honest, like, we're canceling this week's session. I'll see you guys next week, because that was just the honest thing to say. And then I realized, oh wow, something new. There's not going to be any internet. Some part of me, my intuition, which I do believe is from God or the universe, source, whatever label you want to put to that. But through my life, I find that when I followed that intuition, it's always led me to a higher outcome than if I stayed, decision making through logic. So I ask you in the comments, do you make your decisions from logic or from intuition? And if you haven't been making decisions from your intuition, are you going to start doing it now? Are you going to prioritize it, even if logically it makes no sense, but you feel it in your gut? You see, the difference with this is that if you feel it in your gut and you just trust yourself, you trust that you have faith, the outcome is revealed to you. It's kind of like, I remember quite a while ago, I had this like insight, this intuition, and it was very clear. It was like, this person is talking about you. Now, I don't know where that came from. I know now. At the time, I didn't know, because I was fighting the thoughts. I was like, what do you mean this person's talking about me? My logic kicked in. They're my friend. What do you mean? Like, that, why would they be talking about me? They're not talking about me. Why am I being this paranoia? Like, I was like downplaying myself. Until 24 hours later, I saw a mutual friend of ours, and this mutual friend literally told me my own business, like, oh, I heard that this XYZ. And I'm like, who told you that? That's like my business. I wanted to tell you that. That's my news. Oh, yeah, I was with that friend and they told me. I was like, oh, interesting. Made me wonder what else was being said. But again, it's the knowing before the knowing. Now, in that instant, I downplayed myself, right? I doubted that insight, that intuition. It was like, this person's talking about you, because logically, I'd seen no evidence. Logically, it was like, well, no, like, this is my friend. I love her. Until that mutual friend the very next day revealed what I had known before I knew, right? So intuition is incredibly powerful. Anyone who is in business, in leadership, will tell you the power of listening to your gut. A lot of mothers, right, they have a sense, they have an intuition when something is happening to their child, whether their child is in another room or in another country, whether it's through dream, whether it's through feeling, right? Intuition is not here, it's in the body. Like, that's why people say listen to your gut. What they're saying is listen to your body, like your body tells you. And sometimes when you're so disconnected, when you've lived a disconnected life, because of the world that we live in, right? Through this just distracted world, we are constantly bombarded by news. We're constantly bombarded by so much media and information and entertainment and so much kind of like stimulants just through our phone screen. It's not a surprise that people are disconnected. And then you add to it like medications and the food and all of that stuff as well, that we won't go into in this video. But it's no wonder. And this is why one person in alignment is more powerful than millions of people who are not, because they have learned to prioritize that. It's like prioritizing God, is being obedient. to the insights that are coming to you. Actually, I remember last week when I saw this kind of pattern last week, I was like, I messaged my partner and I think the word for me, the word of the week is obedience. Being obedient to the insights, even if logic like tells me otherwise. Logically, things don't make any sense by me doing that thing, but I know that this is insight, this is revelation, and if I'm obedient, that is going to take me to a much better place than if I just kind of stay in the comfort zone. It's kind of really what it is when we're making decisions through logic. It's staying in the comfort zone. So I feel like I could talk about this for another hour, you guys, seriously, but let me know what you think of this video. And if you want to dive in deeper with me, you can book in a coaching session with me. I'll put the link below, and also put an enrollment call. If you're a woman and you're looking for a female like community of women, then I'll put the enrollment link there as well. And yeah, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, you guys, lots of love.